Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the hole in the wall. Get on in here because we got some stories for you today. Wizards is serving up a shock this holiday season with their latest Monster Hunter Secret Lair. Also have a new Boogeyman in Standard. We have the BV 2.0. It's not what you think. And in other news, we're going to talk about Fallout 76's new update, the Burning Springs, talk about the blunders in that, and a couple more things. So, first things first, let's get into today's topic, Goblin. What's up with Monster Hunter?
So, back to the drawing board for Secret Lair X Monster Hunter. This is just a statement that was given pretty recently, pretty close to Thanksgiving, but we obviously recorded our episode that week before this was announced. So let's cut to the chase. Secret Lair X Monster Hunter Super Drop we revealed last week fell short of expectations. We heard loud and clear that you were disappointed, and we believe we can do better. So, we're going to postpone this release and rework this super drop entirely. Like many of you, we're big fans of Monster Hunter, it's why we put this super drop together, but in our excitement, we missed the mark on elements like card selection and faithfully integrating the world and mechanics of Monster Hunter. As a result, the overall construction of this super drop is not up to the standard you have come to expect. Pulling super drops back isn't something we're going to do very often, but we're committed to doing better. Capcom is on board for us to take another swing at this super drop as well. So we're going to pull back on this one and share new information, details, and updates in a few months. Keep an eye out for more information in 2026. So, they name dropped Capcom here. Did Capcom step in and say, yo, we're reading the Reddit threads. What's going on here, guys?
That's what the cynic in me says. Like, I don't think they listened to the fan backlash on this one. I think it's Capcom stepped in and said, "Hey, what are y'all doing? this, this is cheeks. Do better."
Yeah, does that mean there's some kind of extended relationship between the two? Like, they've done Street Fighter before, and that one was received pretty well. So maybe Capcom is like, hey, what's going on with this one? Or maybe it was like a combination of factors. Because, like, Prof reviews Secret Layers all the time, and there are pretty consistently Secret Layers that obviously missed the mark. I mean, we've talked about them here on this show. So it's not just because it wasn't good that they pulled it. There's something else going on here. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, I'm going to pull up the Secret Lair site and look at all this Avatar stuff that is still available. Um, just about everything. God of War Ragnarok still available. PlayStation Last of Us still available. Uncharted still available. Furby still available from all the way back then. Secret Scare still available. Uh, all the way back to these Spider-Mans. Like, how many releases ago were they? Like, months and months at this point. We touched on something really in the show's infancy when Spider-Man first started flopping, and I kind of posed the question, like, is this the beginning of the broader rejection of universes beyond? And I think we're starting to see signs of that. Like, what do you think, Nemy?
The way I see Secret Layers as of late is they will print one, maybe two cards in a certain drop that will have the value that's worth the price tag. So there's the easiest examples was the other scare Secret Layers with Jaws and the demonic tutor. Like, people will buy the cards if the value is there. Most people don't buy off the artwork alone. And the drops like these that are still up there is kind of proving that. Like they can't really sell on IP alone these days. Like there has to be some type of mechanical value to these cards. Like case in point, the Spider-Man Secret Layers. Like nobody wants another copy of Blasphemous Act. They print that in every at precon. They don't want another copy of Soul Ring. Like they print that in every precon. Like there's no reason to spend $40 to get a card that's 10 cents. Like
Yeah.
the overall value of this drop is what, a few bucks
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I was just about to say this Daily Bugle breaking news bundle here. I don't think a single card in this list is $3 or more. You know, like Scheming Symmetry might be $4, maybe. But
Yeah.
other than that, like Impact Trimmers can be had for cheap, even though it's pretty playable. Blasphemous Act, like you said, reprinted over and over again. Same for Factor Fiction and Frantic Search. Like these cards aren't really themed in any way. This is black, red, red, blue, blue. Like I guess they're all Grixis. Like I don't know.
But it just comes down to with the case of Secret Layers specifically, like people want reprints that are playable. And granted, all these cards are playable, but there's no real value in getting these cards. Like, how many times have you seen Lightning Ray, Soul Ring, in a command tower?
Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
you,
and command tower was the bonus card for the Sonic Secret Layer, and now here they're printing it in the Secret Layer proper. Like, that just feels scummy to me.
I don't think this is the right word for it, but the word that jumped to my mind when you brought that up is cannibalistic. Like, let's say like you have a dream consumer that buys every layer that comes out. How many copies of Command Tower do you want them to have? Like, how many copies of Soul Ring and Lightning Greaves and Three Visits do you want them to have? Because these get printed all the time. And I think in the current climate, just you could say that the TCG economy or economies at large, you can't justify spending $40 for $10 worth of playable commons, uncommons, and rares because the picture is different. Like as a player, as a store, there's no market for this right now.
Yeah. If anything, because I feel like this all started with Spider-Man, because most of the Secret Layer drops before that were selling out pretty consistently, but this is just another case in point where IP can't carry everything. Like you can't expect, oh, this is one of the biggest characters of all time. Everything will sell out. Everything will be a big success because it's just not the case. Like you can miss the mark if you don't follow through, and this just shows it.
Yeah, I was listening to a Magic video earlier today, and I was working on something else and just kind of had it in my ear, and whoever it was, I wish I could remember. You know, it was just autoplay in the background. They brought up the point that the difference between Spider-Man and Final Fantasy was that it's very difficult to find like Final Fantasy memorabilia in comparison to Spider-Man. Like you can go to any Dollar Tree, any Walmart, any corner pharmacy family run business in America and find Spider-Man stuff, right? But Final Fantasy was a little bit more niche, so the fan base was like more ravenous. I don't think with this model of cheap secret layers, like even a ravenous fan base like that, even a group of fans that are starved for collectibles like Monster Hunter fans are gonna go for this kind of thing. And I think they realize that they're kind of seeing the flaws in their own design here.
Yeah. And these are deals that have been in the works for years. So they've been working with Capcom for quite a long time, and those cards were had to have been already picked out. So It's just they had to course correct based on, like I said, based on Spider-Man, because there's just no way that subpar product or card selection is going to carry something that's not even as big.
The
And the thing that just irks me is like they have a backlog of so many good expensive cards that they can just reprint into these things.
yes.
Why why don't they do it? Like they because the like I said, the way I see most modern secret layers is there's one, maybe two money cards that'll get you the value of what you're paying into it, and then you get a few extra bonuses essentially.
I think
So
I think the model that people want is, rather than printing me two $20 cards and three stinkers and, selling it to me for $40, why not give me five $10 reprints? And I pay $40 and I get a little bit of that reprint equity out of it, and maybe the price of my cards that I get out of the layer drop over time because the population increases. But at the time, it will have been a good value for my money, right? As
well,
far as like card for card.
if we're going perfect world, then they need to do print to demand, but that's neither
Yeah.
here nor there. I mean, we're
Right.
just
Right.
screaming into the void at this point. Like
Right.
we can give them wish lists all we want, but the reality is they're going to print how they want to print, and just going based off their historical prints of late, I feel like they should at least add more. At least, like, why not add one or two more like big money cards? Um, I mean, I know they, and with Avatar specifically, since it's the set of the day, it's a little different because they printed the Commander products. Like, if they would have put instead of making the Commander bundles, put the Commander free spells in a secret layer, those would have sold out immediately.
Yep. Day of. Guaranteed.
But yeah, but here we are with, I think it's been like 2 or 3 weeks now, and it looks like I don't think a single Avatar product is sold out. Maybe the cabbages one, but
Yeah, maybe. I
but
think they're all still up if we go back over here to the site. Speaking of Avatar, after we check on this, um,
but like
so
even with like even Avatar, like the one you just pulled up right now, who wants another lightning bolt?
yeah, you don't need it. Torment of Hailfire, Dramatic Entrance, Blood Moon. I mean, some of these cards are a little bit pricey, but nothing,
Just
nothing to write home about.
yeah, it's just their card selection has been very subpar these past few sets.
Yeah, Ponder, Cryptolith Rite, Kodama's Reach, and Sarah Ascendant. Just playable stuff, but nothing with any kind of reprint value. Speaking of Avatar, I wanted to talk a little bit on the subject of the rejection of universes beyond. Look at this graph on TCG Player. This is the collector booster box price for Avatar. $900 September 12th, $401 December 6th. That's like a 60% price drop in 3 months.
Yeah.
The price falls
Well,
20% a month on this
yeah. I
product.
well, I for the collector's product specifically, I think it comes down to a lack of uh what's the word, serialized cards,
Yeah.
because those really do sell product. Like people chasing cards and chasing the highest rarity really want that stuff. And from the looks of it, we can see with Spider-Man 2, nobody really wants textless cards as their highest chase.
Yeah, I think the serialization also kind of guarantees a print run, right? Because these Avatar boxes and Spider Man boxes, the population can really be whatever, even though the collector's tag is on the side of it, uh, because there are no known quantities, right? So you could just keep printing. But with serialized cards, at a certain point, you can't put any more in the boxes, and the boxes can no longer say may contain serialized cards So instead of like designing and printing a whole new box and new packs and new designs and stuff, it's better to just end the print run there. And I think people want that like second layer of confidence with some form of serialization in their product. I think Lordwyn is really going to be the test because it's the only universes within product we've had since August, and I think it's the only product with serialization we've had since what, early this year? Final Fantasy? Did Final Fantasy
Yeah.
have serialized cards? The Chocobos, right?
Yeah, the golden chocobos.
Yeah, so I think that's the last product that had serialization.
But funny enough, that was like the decline, the start of the decline, because there was only 75 of those.
Yeah,
So a lot less than your typical 250. So
much lower population. Yeah.
yeah, so and I mean, I know this is probably out of the realm of possibility given the nature of universes beyond, but it also gives them kind of like an out for perpetuity. So like if for some reason like next year, next 2 or 3 years, oh, look at this, we can reprint these bundles or these collector boxes and not have to worry about serialized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it kind of gives them outs to reprint, which I mean, it's it's good on a business side or it's smart that way, but if no one's buying the product now, no one's going to buy the product later.
Right.
It would only really make sense if like the product was sold out now to reprint later. But I mean, and that might not even be on their minds, but again, it just comes down to people are just not wanting that type of rarity in their highest spot.
Yeah, I think people want cool art. I think people still want some text, to show that it is in fact a Magic the Gathering card. If you're just walking through somebody's home or see somebody's collection and there's a text list, like it might have come out of like a pack of chewing gum. Like you don't really know what it is or know the significance of it, right? If you're just
Yeah.
somebody who might know what card games are but doesn't play them or interact with them.
Yeah.
So
And the one that really messes people up are the people that are out of Magic that haven't been playing for a few years.
mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
show you show them a Soul Stone and they're like, "What is this?" Because
What
it's got the text on it. You're like this that uncanny valleyness of it.
and
Like
what
this looks like kind of like one, but where'd you get this?
yeah, what am I looking at here? Is this a proxy? This is a cool proxy, man.
No, you're looking at $30,000.
I was just thinking today, like, I wonder what custom Magic cards are like now. Like back in the day, you would see custom Magic cards online all the time for characters from other IPs, or like you'd see like a 5-color Hank Hill or something on somebody's MySpace. But I mean, now all that stuff's in the game. So like the custom card communities, I feel like they just make like reasonable 4 drops with like a fantasy theme. Like,
Then they get hired for Wizard.
yeah, I think next year will be really telling. I think Lorwyn will be kind of the canary in the coal mine for which direction the Magic community wants the game to go, or rather, which direction the sales will push the game in. I think is a better
And
way to word that.
and you have to remember 7 sets next year. I think another good test would be whatever that last set is for the year.
Oh,
Star Trek, I think.
yeah, Star Trek.
Because you got to think 6 sets this year, and the fatigue is super strong. Like
Oh yeah.
what's an extra set going to do? I we could see sub MSRP for collector boxes.
I mean, technically, we're there with Avatar now. So, from what I heard, MSRP on these was 450, and we're at 400. So,
Yeah,
I think a lot of this is response to Amazon dropping their price to 400, but still, once these 400s go out, it might go back up to 455, but
If they go out.
if they go out, like a lot of these places, like this person for 413 has 25 of them. This person has 35 at 416. Like, I'm hoping the trend continues because if I could get a pizza bundle for $70 and not 100, I might actually participate in Turtles. But at MSRP or at scalped prices, I just don't think I can be a part of it.
Next year will be one for the books, definitely.
Definitely. And speaking of next year, 7 sets, Standard is going to get even crazier. So we just had a card that was pretty ubiquitous in the format in Vivi that got banned. We covered it a couple weeks ago. Well, now Badger Mole Cub is starting to stomp its way through Standard. This is a Simic list that has been popping up everywhere on Arena lately, but there's a Gruul version. I've seen like 3 color versions. Basically, if you haven't seen yet, what Badger Mole Cub does is a 2/2 for 2. He's 1 and a green. He's a mythic creature, Badger Mole. And when this creature enters, you earthbend 1. So you take one of your lands, put a +1/+1 counter on it, turn it into a creature. And then whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. So this deck plays mana dorks like Gene Pollinator, Land War Elves, plays small guys like Paw Patch Recruit to help protect your stuff, Azure Beastbinder to lock down your opponent's big threats. And then all of these early game cards, and Flood Pit's Drowner also for some lockdown, all these early game cards combo with Drunith, Reviver of the Hive. This is a pretty interesting card here. So whenever you cast a creature spell with a mana value equal to Druneth's power, you copy that spell, except it isn't legendary, and put a 1/1 counter on Drunith. So, notably, all of these mana dorks and all these 1 drops will get copied off of her. Paw Patch Recruit already has Offspring. So you can see where this deck very quickly floods the board, plays Innkeeper's Talent to spread 1/1 counters around, and then tops off the curve with cards like Tivar the Pummeler and Ouroboros to just keep stacking 1/1 counters on these lands and creatures that you have, and really push the game forward. Um, it's everywhere right now on the ladder, and while the comparison to Vivi might be a little early, might be a little clickbaity, you can see copies of Badger Mole Cub are already $84, and this card is going nuts. People are already kind of calling for a ban. I think it's too early for that. We're like 2 or 3 weeks into the set. But how much testing do you think they did with Badger Mole Cub and Turtles?
Probably 0.
Badger Mole Cub and it's not Blind Eternities. What's the crazy set they're gonna have next year? I don't know. I forget the name of it, but it's like they said, "Oh, this set's crazy and the storyline's gonna end." Like, I doubt Badger Mole Cup has been tested with anything in that set. So I think it's only going to get better as time goes on, unless we get a really good, like, white or black sweeper in Lorwyn. Like, this deck is a little bit weak to, like, Star Cage and, like, some of the things that white decks do, but because you're copying stuff with Drunith, you can keep cards back in your hand and still kind of take over the board. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah, makes and the all the +1/+1 counters you're giving to everything is going to make you guys super big, super quick.
Yeah,
Seems really good.
it really stacks up. So, if you're playing Arena, keep an eye out for Badger Mole Cub and a lot of these rampy decks. Something I've been playing to kind of stop these recently is I think it's Ruinous Waterbending is the name from Avatar. It's like one black black and all creatures get -2/-2, and then you can waterbend to gain some life off of it, but even that feels too slow sometimes to try and sweep the board away. So, good luck out there in the arena if you are queuing up these next few weeks. Is something you and I both got a little personal experience with. Uh, Polygon released an article, but we didn't need to read it to know. Fallout 76 launches a huge update. Servers immediately crash. Before we get into the article, Nemy, why don't you just give the people our experience with what happened on launch day?
Oh, I mean, our experience was pretty minimal because we couldn't really get in. So we've relatively new into Fallout 76 in our adventure. We started just a few weeks ago, and kind of perfect timing when this update happened. We were able to get in to the servers, which apparently was pretty rare in and of itself, like just being able to log in. But before we even made it to the gateway into the new area, Goblin disconnected and couldn't get back in. So, like a good little teammate, I waited at the front gate to see if he returned, and then I disconnected. And then from then on, that it was just login issues. Login issues couldn't even make it past the sign-in screen. And
Yeah,
we were on there for a pretty good amount of time trying. Um, it was just really weird how spotty it was, and the consensus was like nobody was able to get on. They started earlier in the day applying the update, and then the game was taken down for maintenance. And then as soon as they released it back into the wild, it was errors and glitches and crashes galore.
yeah. From what I heard, PC servers went down first, and then PS5, and then Xbox servers went down last. So it was just kind of rolling failure all the way around. And by the end of the night on the 2nd, about 1 a.m., December 3rd, Bethesda was posting that things had been restored. But I found this Reddit thread here. Burning Springs login issues on the 3rd at 3:27 p.m. EST. Servers are finally back online for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC platforms. So it took them about a full 24 hours from when the game came back up from maintenance, seems like, to get things back together. Now, I saw a lot of people really kind of going for the throat on this online. Um, I've played a lot of MMOs in my day, and unfortunately, in the modern day, this is pretty standard for a launch day for an MMO. Um, there's usually a big influx of players because of like streamer culture and things. More people want to jump in. Fallout specifically is getting ready to have a new show. And then on top of that, there's always some group that wants to ruin everyone's fun on launch day and kind of punish people for taking off work to play their game or doing whatever and try and do like DDoS and just lame things. I know World of Warcraft used to have a problem with that, where on patch launch days and expansion launches, they would get DDoSed um, to try and prevent people from logging on. So,
Yeah. Now the Fallout community has been pretty patient, and they're usually very nice when it comes to things like this. I mean, granted, you get your game, you expect to play it, right? But I think it was just kind of the perfect storm of so many people getting on, like you mentioned before, and not to mention that the game just got off a sale for $10. So
Yep.
I think it was a lot of people, and Bethesda has been really catering to the fans of the show, and that's their biggest highlight point for this expansion was adding the ghoul from the show into the game. So voiced by Walt Goggins. So they've really tried to get this extra fan base, and my guess is that a lot of people saw this because the marketing is out there too. Like they've done a pretty good job, like getting the word out about this expansion. So I think it was kind of a, like I said, a perfect storm of everything, which honestly is not a good first impression if you're getting brand new people into your game by saying, "Oh, you can't play it until tomorrow."
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like from their end, they're probably really happy that all these people want to hop on and play the game. Which, if you don't know the story of 76, it was pretty famously a broken mess when it came out, and the team that works on it had to put a lot of effort into essentially revamping the game and getting it into something that people actually like want to play. And I think because of that initial like backlash the game received, now and forever, anytime it stumbles, people are going to jump on it to attack it because it's people have that kind of memory and it's easy clicks, you know. Oh, Fallout 76 is screwing up again. Like let's see what they're doing now. But in reality, I think it's pretty common for an MMO to have issues on launch day. And not that it's like you said, you get your game, you expect to play it. Not that it's excusable, but I think that just player to player, I would not take off work the day a new MMO launches. I would take off work the day after.
So smart, so smart. But I mean, that's just experience. It's a couple of old men farting around, knowing knowing better than the youngins.
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of the people that attacked it also were people that had just got the game on sale, admittedly, like I did, and were excited to play, excited to do the new stuff. Probably, like I did, grinded pretty hard to get to level 50 before the expansion hit, and then can't play. And then that's a frustrating experience to have.
But they updates from actually earlier today, which I just sent you a link. You can pull
Oh
this up.
yeah, awesome.
Um, they did announce they are giving compensation to the affected issues, which is honestly so good on their
Oh,
part.
I,
Because because I think it was Tuesday was when the update went live. So
yeah.
just a 3 day response and already giving compensation back is super nice.
Well, let's actually. I'll just read this now since we're just kind of getting a live update here. Hey, Vault Dwellers, we wanted to say thank you for your patience and understanding as we navigated the login issues that many faced during the launch of the Burning Springs update. To, to provide a boost to help aid your adventures in the Burning Springs region and newly found bounty hunting career, to do just that, we've put together a fun package for you all. 7 days of extra daily challenges and an extra weekly. Oh, that's nice. So every day from December 5th, 12 p.m. until December 12th, you will see an extra challenge called Gain a Level, and the score you will be awarded for completing that challenge will be doubled. We will also be adding an extra weekly challenge that will appear alongside our reset on December 9th. So, um, if you're a traditional MMO player, as far as I know, there's no level cap in Fallout 76, so everybody will be able to benefit from this. And it's pretty trivially easy to gain a level.
No hard cap, and the score is their version of the season pass.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So it's like season pass credit that you're getting for doing these challenges. And then you get a free score booster. Today at 12 p.m., a free score booster will be made available for everyone on the account page from the Atomic Shop. This one time booster claim will remain available until Tuesday, December 9th. Okay, so you get a free score booster. Caps of Plenty. Man, they're giving a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
To aid in your bounty hunting adventures, we're kicking off Caps of Plenty. Get ready to sell some items to your favorite vendor, get your caps, and head to buy some headhunts from the ghoul. Caps of Plenty will end at its previously scheduled date of December 15th. Presents on the line. Celebrate the holidays with weekend fishing. Every weekend during this holiday season, you will have the chance to reel in some nice presents. Find those new watering holes in Burning Springs, cast your line, and let us know what you catch. Additionally, we wanted to share an update on some topics we've seen frequently since launch. So these are just kind of
Bug
more
fixes.
bug fixes and updates that they've made to the game. But that's really interesting that they're already giving some compensation, which really, I don't think they needed to. I think they just could have said, we're sorry, and this is what happened, and we'll get back to it, and maybe give people who bought Fallout first an extra day of it or something. But this is great. Everybody's getting a little something.
Yeah. Essentially, they're giving. They're what's the word I'm thinking for? They're making up for the lost time that you missed for the one day of playing. So essentially, everything that you could have done, like grinding and boosting that one level or that one day, they're gonna make it to where you can have it for the whole weekend, which I think is fair.
Yeah, that's great.
So kudos to them for having a cool response so quick. We've seen much less from much more egregious errors.
Yeah, we and much bigger companies giving much less for much worse. So, for our moment of zen tonight, we wanted to highlight Graham Barrett. This is the guy who does the Divorced Dads card game. I'll just play one of his little shorts about that here.
Going to be opening up a new pack of Divorced Dads, the Seed of Separation expansion pack. All right, first up we have Shower Mold. Now, this is a common card that's actually really hard to get rid of for some reason, Space Heater. All right. Dark Web Surfer. Okay, we don't talk about that guy. Traffic Court. Okay, very common terrain, and let me guess what's next. Yeah, Anger Management. Okay, I don't know what it is, but every pack has these together. Like, you can't get one without the other. It's insane. Oh, holographic jumper cables. 1 second. Brittany, analyze this card for me.
Hi, Graham. This is a really cool card. You are so talented.
Nice. All right, send a picture of this to my ex, please. Gonna be opening up a new pack of Divorced Dads, the Seed of
So, if you guys don't know, Divorced Dads is an actual card game that Graham has got on to make pretty much by himself, from what I understand, or at least his small business.
That's the way I see it too. I mean, I'm sure he's got somebody behind him printing and things like that, but yeah, he's pretty much done it single-handedly.
Yeah, he's also got a graphic novel he's working on called Crossfire. Have you seen this, Nemy?
I've seen the trailers. I've seen the little clips
Tonight
he does.
I'm going to be
for it.
reading you an excerpt from my comic book starring the world's first pro-semen retention superhero, Crossfire. In this scene, our hero Crossfire, a priest with guns and a long ponytail, rushes over to save little Timmy, who's just been shot at the strip club. Why are you here? You're part of Satan's arm? I needed money for vapes and expensive porn subscriptions. You wouldn't help me. Timmy, you horny fuck. Hold on, we'll find help. Do they have vapes and porn in heaven? Do they have vapes and porn in heaven? I guess you'll just have to read to find out. Till next time. Tonight I'm going to be reading...
That's awesome. But yeah, Graham just does a lot of comedy shorts and things that Nemy and I really enjoy, and created his own card game. He's got his own miniatures. You can do miniature painting with Graham.
Here are 5 tips to improve your miniature painting using the new Divorced Dad's Alimony the World Ender miniature. Now, before I begin, you're going to want to remove the bonus card from within. Tip 1. Sniff your glue. Be sure to sniff your glue a couple times. Make sure it hasn't expired. Tip 2. Use primer. Apply an even layer of primer to your mini. If you don't have primer, you can use bug spray. Tip 3. Be sure to check your glue again. Tip 4. Start with the eyes. Here I'm using dog poo green and accenting them with sick dog poo red. Tip 5. We should probably order more glue. Here are 5 tips to improve your miniature paint.
But yeah, it's just really clear that in addition to being a pretty funny dude, Graham has a love for nerd culture and tabletop gaming and nerdy hobbies. So it's just somebody we wanted to highlight and point you guys in the direction of, even though he's way bigger than us.
Check him out. You get a good chuckle.
Yep. Anything else you wanted to go over tonight, Nemy, before we head out?
No, nothing really comes to mind. I think it's kind of a shorter one than the usuals.
Yeah, a little bit shorter this time. Not too much going on this week. I think that's pretty standard for the holiday season. Maybe I'll have to whip up another holiday-themed game for us to play next week.
Christmas is coming.